Hey, good morning, everyone. I want to share a word with you to encourage your heart this morning. Obviously, most of us have heard the tragic news and the loss of Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and those other precious souls that were in that helicopter. And obviously, my heart breaks, my heart grieves for those families, and I will continue to be praying for them daily because dealing with the loss of any kind, as I'm familiar with that recently with my passing of my father, it's never easy. And no matter if it's sudden or not sudden, it's difficult. And I pray that they will cling to God to carry them through these days and weeks and months ahead, because truly He is the only one who can carry us through with lasting peace, lasting comfort, lasting joy in these such difficult times. And it made me really think about this very familiar passage. In James, and in this chapter of James, in chapter 4, the author is encouraging believers to live out each day based on godly wisdom and not worldly wisdom. And in James 4:14, he writes, "How do I know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, then it's gone." Wow. You know, in this chapter, James was reprimanding people about boasting about their own plans without acknowledging God's control over their lives, and for their tendencies to prioritize their pursuits over what was important from God's perspective. They were so caught up in carrying out their plans and pursuit, they'd forgotten how priceless the gift of life truly was. And he encouraged believers to realize life was short and time is precious. And in times like this, we all tend to, and we should do this more often, not just when something tragic happens to someone someone who's very popular, but to every day, just tell your loved ones how much you love them, hug them, hold them, and because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. The Bible's very clear about this. And there's some questions that we need to ask. And I want to share these with you. And like I would, wanting to evaluate them myself. Some of the questions that we need to ask are we spending our time chasing earthly things? Are we spending time chasing God and His plan and His calling on our lives? Are we spending our time trying to please people in society? Are we spending our time pleasing God? Are we spending our time gossiping? Are we spending time sharing peace? Are we spending time reading our Bibles, praying, listening to worship music, fellowshipping? Or are we spending time? Are we also spending time loving God above all else? Or do we have idols in our lives? Are we spending time sharing Jesus with the ones who don't know Him? Are we spending time boasting about ourselves? Are we spending time boasting about how righteous we are? Are we spending time boasting about the cross of Jesus Christ and how God's grace is undeserved and unmerited? Are we spending time seeking to hear God's voice? Are we spending time listening to other voices in our life? Do we go to God first, or do we go to Him last? The truth is, guys, no one is perfect. Only our Lord was, is, and will always be. But we can strive for greatness every day. We can strive to be like Jesus every day, and He will do the rest. So I want to encourage you, like I do myself, to take some time, because time is so precious and so fragile, to evaluate how you're spending your time now. Because the only thing that you have is now. Don't waste your time, for you don't know how much time you have left. I'm not saying to go around scared, but instead rejoice in the Lord. Rejoice every day, for this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We also have assurance in him that he is greater than anything that we have, and his plans are greater than any plans that we could have. Remember that the time is something you could never get back. So use it now wisely by seeking and serving the Lord. Well, guys, just a quick word to encourage you today. I hope you have an amazing day. Know that I love you guys and I'm praying for you.